I have a paper to write, but I want to do this instead. Today, I was listening to music and I was listening to Justin Timberlake. And I love Justin Timberlake's music. I think it's great, genuinely. I love Rock Your Body. I love Take It From Here. I love Sexy Back. It's good music. There's nothing wrong with it. But I don't like Justin Timberlake. I think he's weird. I think he's odd. There's something about him that is just very, it's not supposed to be there, right? So I needed to talk to someone about this in extreme detail, like the way I was talking about it with my mother. And that's you. So, hi, welcome. First question I need to ask you. What color are Justin Timberlake's eyes? Did you say brown? Wrong. They're blue. And that starts my point. Usually, an artist you like, you know what color their eyes are. A lot of artists' eyes are brown, and that's fine. But when they have blue eyes, you know. You know, Billie Eilish has blue eyes. She has big blue eyes. You know that any other artist has their colored eyes. You know, Bella Hadid has hazel eyes, but you don't know Justin Timberlake's color. It's blue, but his eyes should be brown. His eyes are blue, but they're not blue enough to stand out, so they're basically brown. And that's weird. Why is that the case? I think we were meant to have the music, not the man. Justin Timberlake as a person, as a commodity, as an as a touring artist, no. Justin Timberlake as, an album, Justified. Justin Timberlake as a discography, Justin Timberlake as a masters, whoever owns it. Yes, absolutely. That makes sense. But as a guy, no, no. So Justin Timberlake gets his start on the Mickey Mouse Club with Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, and Ryan Gosling, right? I'm not exactly sure what they did. I'm pretty sure they sung and danced, which, it tracks. Well, Ryan Gosling does acting and the rest do music. So it makes sense that he would foray into music. But here's the thing about musical theater. Not everybody that does musical theater becomes a musician. A lot of them are actors or they're just supposed to be musical theater people. And this is what I call a theater kid's foray into urban hysteria. Yeah, yeah. It's giving NYU dissertation. I know. So he gets a start on the Mickey Mouse Club where he meets Britney Spears, and this is gonna be very important, you'll understand. Anyway, I don't know what he does after that, but eventually he goes to NSYNC and becomes a boy band singer, does Bye Bye Bye. Here's the thing about Justin Timberlake that I don't like, his hair. I feel like he can never commit, and this is also a very important thing about commitment, that he can't ever commit to the bit. He could have been a theater kid. He wanted to be a theater kid. He wanted to do Mickey Mouse Club. He was a Disney kid, didn't do that, so he decided to be in a boy band. Didn't want to be in a boy band, then he wants to be an R&B singer. Then he wants to be oh sexy and suave. Then he wants to be an actor, but he always plays lame in his roles, right? And then he wants to be in Trolls. See what I'm talking about? He can't commit. He also can't commit to his wife from what I heard. There's a lot of cheating rumors. Every time you hear about Justin Timberlake and his wife Jessica Biel and her husband Justin Timberlake, it's never good. It's always she's leaving him. They're divorcing. What's gonna happen to the kids? Always. And it's like no one really cares. It's like when Dave Grohl was talking about like, hey, I fathered a child with another woman while in my marriage. I cheated on my wife. Like nobody was gonna sell that information and like I don't think anyone really would have cared. Listen, I love Nirvana. I love Foo Fighters. Dave Grohl, he always, oh, I'm a nice guy, I'm a family man, right? But like I don't think anyone would really care, or like I think the people that information like that matters to and whether your favorite artist is an infidel, is that the word? Is committing adultery are younger people. I don't think younger people follow Dave Grohl as a person. I digress. In my research, which wasn't a lot, because this is unscripted, I'm pretty sure Justin said something like, music really mattered to me, so I wanted to do this from like a musical perspective and split because being in a boy band is less about the music and more about like the performance than anything. So maybe he wanted more creative control. So he turns to the Neptunes, Chad Hugo and Pharrell, who are on the outs apparently. I read that they don't talk to each other anymore, and Chad was suing Pharrell. That's so sad. That's so, so sad. I don't know if that's true. Fact check me. He works with the Neptunes and he creates Justified, his debut album, which is really, really good. I also forgot, I just realized. So, him and Britney were dating, I think, while he was in NSYNC, and when he left NSYNC, I'm not sure, but I think Cry Me River is unjustified, and Cry Me River, I think, is about Britney Spears. At least in the video, they had an actress who played someone that looked like Britney Spears. So, like, it's giving petty, it's giving bitter. No, why would he do that? And everyone knows, like, the way the tabloids were during that time, the way they attacked women, especially Britney. And I don't think them attacking Britney for this was the start of them attacking Britney. I feel like they've always done it since the beginning of her career. Britney's more successful than Justin, kind of always has been, I think. I didn't research this. There could be so many inconsistencies. Anyway, so Brittany is living her life. Justin wants to release his debut album, and then he's like, "Let me diss my girlfriend, who I've known since she was a child. Let me do that. It'd be so much fun. It'd be so cute. And let me get the help of the Neptunes because, they're great." And it's just like, ugh, it's so disgusting and rude. And it's just like, it's the misogyny and how it just goes throughout time. And I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. So Cry Me River's on there. And I think even with Brittany, he mentioned how like, oh, did you and Brittany ever have um the Devil's Tango? Did you ever have coinus? Yeah. And he was like, oh yeah. Like, why are you telling this on the Breakfast Club? Hot 10.5, 9:30 in the morning? Okay. All right, I see how it is. But that's also I didn't like him for that. A lot of people didn't like him for that, I think, after it happened, but I particularly don't like it. It's weird, it's rude, it's uncalled for, it's nasty, it's disgusting behavior. He goes and he makes Justified. I'm pretty sure it's a big hit at the time. Let's see. I think it was a chart topper, and it makes sense. I love rock. Like, he has great songs on there. Cry Me River is one of the chart toppers, and Rock Your Body. Don't be so quick to run away. It's me, I wanna rock your body. I learned it on the bass. It's really easy. It's like 7 notes. 3, 3, 5, 7, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. 2, 3, 3. Yeah. Anyway, so he really justified. It's a big hit. It's great. He's not a pop boy anymore. He's officially a swagged out Filipino. He's officially whatever he wants to be. He shaved his head, and also this is videos all over the place, but why was he trying to convince us that he can beatbox? You can't beatbox. He can't beatbox. When you listen to the doons, 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 boom, 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 sha. To beatbox, to be good at it, you need to do a few of those things together. You can obviously tell those are overlaid. He did each part separately, and then they put it together. You're not beatboxing. You're not a beatboxer. Timbaland can beatbox. Justin Timberlake cannot. I think Britney Spears also mentioned how, like, yeah, he's a regular white guy. And then we were going out and he saw this, like, black guy who was, like, a rapper and athlete. And then he started using AAV or something. Maybe I'm pulling it out my butt. But, like, he does weird things like that. It's just a weird guy. Overall, I think we should have given the power and success Justin Timberlake had. Some of it should have been given to Jamiroquai. I think having Jamiroquai would have, been good. It would have been a good balance. Was it earned? I think so. Also think that his album being more R&B focused, right? Justified is it's pop. It's under pop. Of course it is cuz he's white. He's a white man. It's pop. Anyway, so according to Apple Music, freed from the rigors of commercial pop's factory floor, Justin Bieber concocts a solo debut album that manages to somehow be both drum tight and boundlessly inventive. Of course, Justified is also a monument to the bolted lightning production of the Neptunes, the earthy snap of Senorita, the glistening spade age funk of Rock Your Body, and Timbaland, layered percussive alchemy on Cry Me River and Right For Me. But these sumptuous beatscapes would be nothing without the vocal point of Timberlake's MJ-worthy falsetto, emancipated swagger, and full beam star power. I don't think Justin Bieber. Whoa, exactly. Justin Bieber has more star power than Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake doesn't have star power. And you want to know why? Because he can't dance. That's part two. Justin Timberlake cannot dance. He can do choreography. He can move and it's not bad. It's not stiff. But to me, he's like J-Lo. People say, oh, J-Lo's a good dancer. I think J-Lo can follow choreography. Everyone knows J-Lo can't really sing. She wouldn't have a career if it wasn't for Tinashe and the other women that sang for her. Get right? If it was just her, oh my god. And if they had taken one thing from A. Marie, oh, that'd be terrible. Disgusting. I don't want to even think of a universe where one thing was J-Lo's and not A. Marie's. I'm so happy they leaked that song. Get Right should have also maybe been A. Marie's. Oh yes, that would be good. Anyway, Justin Timberlake, I don't think really has star power, just in terms of like, he just doesn't give that aura. I mean, I know he was in a boy band, and I hated his hair when he was in a boy band, and then he cut it off. And it's like, I also, I don't like blondes, and I especially don't like blondes that like have that mousy brown hair, like it turns mousy brown. I feel like that was Justin Timberlake. Was he ever blonde? They probably bleached his hair and they gave him a perm, I think. Yeah, they gave him a perm. And I don't know what that was about. That was a really bad creative choice looking back. Like, ew. I don't like his hair. I think his hair is a really big thing for me. He never has figured it out. And like when he did, he just like switched it up and it was so unneeded. But anyway, like he has like this hair color that's like brownish blonde. It's weird, right? Justin Timberlake also just looks like a former child actor, like perpetually a former child actor, not a chart-topping, Grammy-winning, world tour selling musician. It's he looks like a former child actor. He just doesn't have that oomph for me. Like Britney had that oomph. Janet has that oomph. Pharrell, his swag is natural. Chad, he's silent. He moves in silence. He is the swagged out Filipino. Chad Hugo is the original swagged out Filipino, and Justin's just there. Justin, okay, here's my next point. This is very, very important. Justified. I think it was really, really calculated, the sort of genres that they were going for, him working with the Neptunes and with Timbaland. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but I think it was definitely like, oh, I need to break away from pop. What's the opposite of pop? R&B. Black people, lots and lots of them. We're gonna get some songs in Spanish. I'm gonna do some choruses that are nice and sexy. It's like fan service, but in a different way. I think that was very calculated on his part, which is smart. But I don't like when men are calculated. It's very dangerous. It just shows me that you're a dangerous man. Anyway, so he releases the album. Oh my God, it's so good. The drums are so good. His singing. This is what I mean, but here's the important part. Listen very closely. Pharrell Williams. Pharrell Williams is a polyglot. Pharrell Williams does so many things. Should he be working for Louis Vuitton? I love Pharrell. I really admire him as an artist. I really do look up to him. But for example, Frontin', that beat was meant for Prince. A lot of other songs, Rock Your Body, Senorita, and Like I Love You, those were meant for Michael Jackson. I read that he gave it to Michael Jackson's manager, and the manager, or like someone that worked for his team, the manager's like, oh, I'll give it to him. And then Michael never got it. So these songs that Justin are singing, they're Pharrell throwaways. These are Pharrell throwaways. He didn't produce them specifically for Justin Timberlake. They just were not given to the artist that he originally produced them for or had them in mind. I think the reason he gets them is because Prince does a really nice high voice. Michael Jackson does a really nice falsetto, high voice. Pharrell is not a singer. Pharrell is a producer. Pharrell is maybe he's a designer, a good one. He's a music producer. The reason he works with Chad Hugo really builds more of a body in the music, and I feel like him, like Chad Hugo and Pharrell, is sort of how, like, if you look at that video of Kanye and then Timbaland helping him fix the drums, I feel like sometimes Pharrell, production wise, can go a little too far, a little bit overboard, and Chad Hugo really builds a skeleton that Pharrell can work around, and he really kind of holds that back and it's just beautiful work with the Neptunes. Anyway, so sad that they're not together. Pharrell makes songs for guys that have high voices. At least originally, that's what I think. Pharrell is a producer. He's not a singer. Pharrell can sing, kinda. He has songs where he sings, but he is not a singer. I don't think anyone considers him a singer unless, you were young when Happy came out and you were like, oh, I like Pharrell, and I always got him mixed up with Will Ferrell. So, it's a thing. Anyway, Pharrell's not a singer. Pharrell can do a falsetto, but Justin can do a better one. Justin Timberlake has the tonnage that Pharrell wishes he had. Therefore, he's living through Justin Timberlake, a singer. He's living through Justin Timberlake to become a singer. Justin Timberlake was living through Britney Spears. Britney and Justin got together. Justin was still in NSYNC. He was not very well known as his own artist. He was known as part of a boy band that was pretty popular. Britney, top of the world. She had already released, I think, one or two albums. She already released Baby, Hit Me One More Time, and her second album, Oh Baby, Baby, How Was I supposed to know. So she had already released Baby One More Time, Oops, I Did It Again, Britney, and In the Zone. If they broke up in 2005, when did they break up? They broke up in 2002. They broke up in 2002. She had already released three albums, very successful albums, and cemented herself as pop princess and icon. Justin Timberlake was jealous. He was definitely jealous. Read Britney's book. I didn't, but that's what someone on Reddit said. So I believe them. I know you're not supposed to believe what everyone says, but I think we all can agree that you can trust someone that you don't know who's like a random person on Reddit more than you can trust like AI. Someone's like, oh, was Justin Timberlake envious of Britney's career and resentful of her success? He was famous, but Britney was more famous. She sold a ton of units of her first two or three albums. I wondered if he resented her and that's why he cheated so much, didn't talk to her while recording his first album, and was so quick to break up with her and capitalize on the relationship and break up for his first album, right? It makes me wonder if Britney knew how special she was back then. She seemed like she was looking for love, and JT was looking primarily for the come up. But maybe he did have true feelings beyond my girl is the biggest pop star on earth right now. This person said, I grew up thinking this. I grew up in South Africa, was a Britney fan, didn't know who NSYNC was. Never mind the kid with the unusual hair. It's weird. Even they know it's weird. Britney and the BSB were world famous. And then I learned who NSYNC was, and it was because it was Britney's boyfriend, right? And NSYNC was an American boy band that Britney's boyfriend was a part of, and that was it. Justin would have been a complete unknown to me if it wasn't for a relationship with Britney. I can imagine he was jealous. I think a lot of men in her life ended up being jealous of her in some capacity, and I understand that can cause a masculinity crisis for them. Masculinity can be very fragile, and I know family and friends whose boyfriends were happy until they started becoming more successful than their boyfriends. Said, I think he was a douchebag that was full of himself. A lot of guys are at that age. I can only imagine with that much power, too. He couldn't have possibly known that would affect her so much. Maybe not. Justin Timberlake seems like the person that, like, he thinks, but not all the way through. That's so mean. I'm so sorry. But everyone here is basically like, he was jealous and or selfish. Yeah. He was living through Britney Spears. Britney Spears was the biggest pop star on earth. He was learning from her to perfect his craft to become another pop star. He will never be as big as Britney. He never has, and he never will, and that's okay. I don't think he wanted to do that. He wanted to be big in his own right, but he was learning from Britney, recorded his album, cheated on her, made Cry Me a River, tried to drag her down and humiliate her. Evil. He was living through Britney until he took everything he thought he could have and just went around. May I also note that Britney has supported Justin Timberlake throughout his career, even after their breakup, because she's just that good of a person. And I think she deleted a post because he said something backhanded and was like, I'm not going to apologize, or something. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. But she has always been extremely supportive of Justin's career. And I haven't seen him even post, I don't follow him, but I haven't seen him post like a Britney song. I feel like that would make headline news. So Justin Timberlake, I'm reading his Wikipedia page. End of 2002, after him and Britney broke up, he started becoming a drug addict. He started turning to substances. See what happens when you live through a woman and you try to take karma. Karma happens. And he's still dependent on substances. He was, remember that mugshot he got arrested for? Oh no, it's gonna ruin the world tour. Nobody knew he was on tour. No one. No one knew he was on tour. Not a single person knew he was on tour. Never. Anyway, reading his Wikipedia page at the near end of 2002, he was on Punk'd. He cried and he admitted to being under the influence of the green flower. And then Super Bowl, Janet Jackson. He was also trying to live through Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson, Queen of Pop. Apparently it's Madonna. Okay, so apparently the Queen of Pop is Madonna. Anyway, Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson and Michael Jackson. Pioneers in the music industry, right? Michael was a little older. I think we can all safely say that Janet did take inspiration, but she took that much farther for the girlies. Okay? She started off, she made a few albums, they were cute, wasn't much until Control happened. And she was hitting it. And she was doing the dances. And she was singing her butt off. And she's a great singer. I think her singing style, like Michael Jackson's, was a stylistic choice. I think they were both very technically talented and could do a lot of different things. And her sort of falsetto and like never really matter what the I say, cause I'm in love with the enemy. That stuff, that's a stylistic choice, I believe, I assume. Anyway, I think Britney Spears was inspired by Janet Jackson. I think Janet Jackson really paved the way for having female performers do, because I personally I can't really think of too many female performers that did dancing like she does while singing before her. Like, of course they danced. Of course there was disco artists, but I like doing full backflips, cartwheels, you know. Maybe Madonna? I don't know. Just if everyone talking about, oh, Justin Bieber, his falsetto like Michael Jackson, he's like Michael Jackson, he can sing like Michael Jackson. Oh, he's performing with Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson's sister. Oh, he's dating Britney Spears, the pop princess. Oh, Janet Jackson paved the way for pop and for females in the musical space. He's performing at the Super Bowl with her. And here's the worst part to me. His outfit. His outfit demonstrates disrespect and sloppiness. You are on stage performing the halftime show, one of the most watched events in television history in the United States, and you can't put on a suit? What are you wearing? I'm gonna pull this up because this is disgusting to me. I don't know how they let that happen, and they were mad at Janet because of a little wardrobe malfunction, a little nipple flash. Girl, it's like, oh, and then they wanted to sue her. I don't think the early 2000s was like purity culture heavy, right? Was it? I don't know. I know it's a Super Bowl, but even then, it's like, it was a malfunction. It wasn't her fault, and you want to blame on everything. And Justin's like, oh, yeah, it happened. It was crazy. At the Pepsi Super Bowl halftime show. Oh, wait, he got his own? He's had three? 2001 with NSYNC, 2004 with Janet, 2018 as the solo headliner? This is what he's wearing for his solo performance. Okay. Exactly. Britney's there. I feel like he's just like a guy who, he's just a guy. Look at what he's wearing. He put in no effort. Did he even iron his pants? Jesus Christ. And did he cover her? No, he just kept singing. No decorum. Where's the respect? Put some respect on Janet's name. This affected Janet's career. I'm pretty sure it did. Because I think this was like right before the release of her album and people were trying to boycott Janet. Let's double check. Yeah, it was a really big deal. Basically she was blacklisted, so she faced intense scrutiny, public backlash, and her album that was supposed to come out, Demita Joe, which it did come out, it struggled to achieve like the success that it was supposed to achieve. But Justin Timberlake, he was fine. Oh, he was more than fine. He was dandy. He was dandy. And then in 2006, he releases FutureSex slash LoveSounds by, I call it by Timbaland because he produced the whole thing. I'm gonna check the credits. Anyway, let's read the description for this one.
The multi-platinum Grammy-winning success of JT's 2002 solo debut justified, it was clear NSYNC was not simply on hiatus, as the members of the boy band claimed. In fact, the group had now gone bye. That meant Timberlake could flex his solo superstardom on his 2006 follow-up. And flex he did, strong-arming into submission any suggestion of a possible sophomore slump.
With the unswervable swagger of a young black teen, heartthrob seemingly destined to become a pop dynamo. They keep using swag. He was not swagged. He could hit a little leg thing, like a little, little ooh. He could do a little ooh, a little run. And while Justified found Timberlake chanting his fellow boy band alum Michael Jackson was not in a boy band. He was in the Jackson 5. The Jackson 5 is its own thing. Don't play. In hits like I Love You and Rock Your Body, FutureSex slash LoveSounds was the album in which the singer got naughty, if never nasty.
Sexy Ladies, with its thumping bass and squealing synths, updated Prince's 1979 banger Sexy Dancer for a next-gen player.
Prince.
Well, the dizzying high of Love Stone is like a sped-up riff off the Purple One's 1999 jam Lady Cab Driver. Then there's a futuristic funk of FutureSex slash LoveSounds title track, as well as its first single, Sexy Back. I'm bringing sexy back. Yup, which saw it into an alternate universe, where Timberlake was a love child of Prince and George Clinton.
Okay. It was a Timberlake and Timbaland joint, and Timmy Tim, with additional behind-the-boards work from longtime Timbaland collaborator Nate Donja Hills. T.I. Ill. First of all, here's the thing. I love Sexy Back. Sexy Back is such a good song. That, like, how they were able to do the like sort of megaphone sound, and also where you hear the beat and he goes, "Dirty babe, you see these shadows, baby, it doesn't necessarily match with the beat, but at the same time it does, right? But then he has My Love. My Love's a great song. And I think a rap verse was needed a little bit, but I feel like they just reached out to a bunch of people, and T.I. was the only one that responded in a timely manner. T.I.'s rap makes no sense. It's like, it's actually really scary if you look at the lyrics. It's, he has allegations, and it makes sense.
T.I.'s verse, Shawty Cool is a fan on the new once again. Okay, but he still has fans from Peru to Japan. I think he's talking about JT or himself. I'm not sure. It's weird, right? And Cool is a fan. Like, his lyrics are so corny. He's not that good of a lyricist, at least not this song. Listen, baby, I don't want to ruin your plan, but if you got a man, try to lose him if you can. He's talking to this girl. Me and JT, oh my god, we're so famous. You should lose your man. All the girls love us. Everyone loves us. You say you want to kick it with a stand-up guy, but you don't really want to let a chance go by because you've never been with the man so fly, friend so fly, baby. Can't go fly. Private because I handle my PI. I don't know what that means. Private investigator. BI. My business. Then he says, they call me Candle Guy simply because I am on fire. I get it. I just think there should have been a different way around that. Then he says, oh, like, the girl I'm assuming was like, no, I have a boyfriend. And he's like, I hate to have to cancel my vacation. I'm patient, but I'm not going to try. You're not going to come. I ain't going to die. Wait, what do you mean you can't go? Why? Me, your boyfriend? Your boyfriend? Who? We're not no tie. You say you want to hang out with me when I'm not high and I'm not zooted because, I have substance abuse issues. Well, then, too bad for you. It's obvious that you just don't want me. It's obvious that, like, I'm not for you, right? So he says that. Okay, well, then, like, I don't care if you're not gonna come. I can get another girl. And I'll forget your face. Same bar, anywhere, anywhere I chill, bring with me any pair. I got twins. I have triplets, I have quadruplets, I have lots of girls. Bring 2 girls this time because I'm hurt.
It's just the song itself, My Love, it is very romantic. Ain't another woman that can take your spot, my love. So T.I.'s verse, not only is it out of place, it's scary. So after this album and the Super Bowl incident, he's taking a break, he's taking a little rest, and he's gonna become a movie star because he's a theater kid. He's not a pop star, okay? And he's not an actor. He's a theater kid. He's supposed to do both. One cannot be without the other because yes, he can sing. Yes, he makes hits, but I will not pay to see him on stage. I'm sorry, no. He was considered to play the role of Roger Davis in the film version of Rent, but Chris Columbus had insisted the only original Broadway members can convey the true meaning of Rent, so it was reprised by Adam Pascal. Here's the thing, I think that really hurt Justin. Because he's a theater kid, right? I'm sure he loves Rent. I'm sure it's one of his favorite things ever. And then they were like, like they've been talking about you. He's like, oh yeah, I'm so hyped. Then the director's like, no, blah 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 blah. He hosted a lot of events. The EU MTV Music Awards. Saturday Night Live is the hosting a musical guest. Then he started acting again. So here's the thing about Justin Timberlake's acting for me. You can't spend 2 albums, or what was it? It was 2002, 2006. 4+ years trying to convince me you're a sexy, swaggy guy looking like how you do, while also playing lames in movies. I'm pretty sure in like Friends with Benefits with Mila Kunis, he was like an assistant, and in The Social Network, I'm pretty sure, I haven't watched it yet, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't a cool guy. So I just feel like the dichotomy, it's not working in his favor for me. And he was in Cameron Diaz's picture, Bad Teacher. Now, I used to watch Bad Teacher a lot. It used to be one of my favorite movies. I don't know why. I was definitely like 10 years old, but he was in it. I don't even remember him, and I'm sure he played a lame. That's the thing. What you look like is very important in acting. That's how like it works. Like, aesthetics are very important with film. Justin Timberlake looks like an assistant. He looks like an assistant. He looks like a lame. And that's who he plays. But then you want to release albums where you're telling me the opposite. I don't like it. You wanna
perm your hair and bleach it blonde, and it's weird and ugly and stupid, and you want to let it fade so it looks a little more natural. But then you want to cut it all off, and you want to have a buzz cut. But not even gonna commit to the buzz cut because you're not even gonna get a lineup, right? You're still gonna let your hairline show. Why? Because you're a theater kid. You don't actually want to be black. You just like performing as a black person just for a little bit, just for when you can sing, and then you just love having your privilege inside of you. Okay, and then you wanna grow it back out a little bit, right? And then you want to cut it off again. And I just don't like it.
He's been on SNL 5 times. That's a lot of times. Since FutureSex / LoveSounds until 2011, 5 years he hosted 5 times. He hasn't released an album. That's great work. Great momentum, great stamina. I just don't think it should be going towards him. Then he releases the 2020 Experience, produced by Timbaland, Timberlake, Jerome, J. Rock Harmon, and Rob Knox. Like, uncomfortable after doing this for a while. Anyway, let's see what Apple Music said. Justin Timberlake's willingness to take his time creatively.
Relevant. His first decade as a solo artist yielded only 2 records, but they had like 30 songs on it, and they were good songs, so it's okay. Seemed to directly shape the sonic opulence of the 2020 experience. Once again, teaming up with Timbaland, JT presides over 10 maximal tracks that run fearlessly from symphonic, neo soul, push your love girl, to bustling, eastern-tinged funk, let the groove in. And then there's Mirrors, an unashamedly romantic 8-minute brew of elastic percussion and soaring guitar that caps a masterpiece of space, instrumentation, and cinematic scope.
I'll be honest, I haven't listened to any of JT's albums full through. I didn't really get into listening to albums full through until, Amy Winehouse. I was listening to Frank full through, Back to Black full through. I listened to Tyler the Creator's Call Me If You Get Lost full through. I was also just in a really dark place, and I wasn't thinking of listening to Justin Timberlake during this time. And I like a few songs. Maybe, if I'm in a mood, I'll play a couple things, but I haven't like chosen to listen to a full album, and I don't know too many songs from this one other than Suit and Tie. So I might not be the best judge of this. It does really good. I be on my suit and tie. It eventually became the best selling album of the year in the country in 2013. I remember this album's rollout vividly because I existed already. I just thought it was cool. I was really confused because I would confuse it with James Bond, and that's when I started confusing him with Michael Bublé. Michael Bublé is just a chubbier Justin Timberlake. I don't really like him as an artist because as a jazz singer, you need to have feeling. You need to have feeling. You need to have warmth. It needs to feel like when you drink hot tea or soup and you feel the warm liquid going down your throat, the liquid. That's what jazz feels like to me. Or it needs to just feel like something like just like, oh shit, like, oh my god, the bass is crazy. He's killing it with the piano keys. What is he doing on the drums? But I feel none of that. I feel nothing. It just feels too clean. Michael Bublé is too clean. I don't feel like there's enough inflections in his voice. I don't feel like there's enough soul in his voice. Like Seth MacFarlane is a better jazz singer than Michael Bublé. He's just so commercial. Like jazz was commercial, right? But it was also like they had their own like clubs, right? And they were all smoking and they were all dating each other, you know. And they were also traveling, and it was sponsored by the government, because communism is bad. Shh, shh. You didn't hear that. I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
Because at the time, because if you look at the Suit and Tie music video, he grew his hair out. He got older. I understand how age works, but if you watch my previous video with the buzz cut theory, I think Justin Timberlake looks good with the buzz cut because he doesn't look any different than what he did when he had hair. If anything, he looks better, and he's one of the people that should keep a buzz cut because you can't go from wavy side part in the Mickey Mouse Club to permed to the heavens, bleach blonde, bleach my eyes, shave it all off. You want to be cool, swaggy, and dance, and then I know it's been like what 4 or 5 years. I don't know how old he is at this time. Anyway, and then you want to grow it out. Did he get? He wasn't even married yet. I don't think. Like if he was married, I would get it. If he had the kids, I would get it. But I'm not sure if he was exactly married yet at this time. Let's double check, shall we? So he was married. Okay, so it makes sense. I mean, I wasn't really following Justin Timberlake when I was, like 6 years old. So I of course don't remember ever hearing anything about him getting married. But that's the thing. Did anybody really care that he got married? Like when celebrities get married, when they get engaged, at least nowadays, a lot of artists, it's a big thing. It's like, oh, when's the divorce? It's coming. Like, oh my goodness, I can't wait for like in a couple years to get this big headline about them divorcing and surprise, surprise, no prenup. That's not what happened. I feel like he just stopped singing and then he tried to do acting and then he went to singing again and then somehow he just got married to Jessica Biel. And I'm gonna go and touch back on that later. And then he's hanging out with Obama. Like I get it, Obama's young, he's hot, he's light skinned, 6'2". He's fit. He's with Michelle. Michelle's a baddie. And he's performing at the White House for Memphis Soul. I don't understand. Why are they getting non-black artists to perform soul music when they're trying to do like a traditional thing, or when they're trying to, pay homage to, a traditional genre form of art that is traditionally black, and they don't want to put black artists, or they want to be a few, and then they want to drop J Lo in there, for Motown, and they want to drop Justin Timberlake in there for soul. Justin Timberlake doesn't do soul music. He does a falsetto over a Neptunes or Timbaland beat. Bring Timbaland. Gosh. He announced his tour.
Mhm. 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 He does Trolls. I remember that. I remember him doing Trolls. I feel like that was sort of the downfall. So the audio isn't working, and I didn't want to get copyrighted. So I hope this works. But this is an Oscar-winning performance, by the way. This is his best work, which I don't know if is good or bad. I love trolls, but this goes to my point again. He's always playing a lame in movies, in films, and whatever he wants to do. And he's gonna do voice acting. You would think, okay, well, we don't have to see his face. Maybe he could be someone cool and swaggy. No, you just made a song called "Suit and Tie," talking about oh, like I'm swag, but it's like a classy swag. But no, you want to do trolls. Singing killed my grandma. I can't do this anymore. Okay, so he does Trolls, and then in 2018, he does Trolls in 2016. 2018, he releases Man of the Woods. He doesn't have that big of a discography, which is so crazy to me, but I loved Filthy. It made me feel weird in a good way. Pharrell produced this one and Timbaland. Here's the thing, Justin Timberlake as a pop musician would not exist. He would be nothing if it was not for Timbaland and Timberlake. If Timbaland and him got into an argument and Timbaland said, I'm never talking to you again, we would never hear of Justin Timberlake. Ever. There would be no third, fourth album. Anyway, this is what Apple Music said. Hints of Americana with help from Chris Stapleton because it's a little country bass. Says something I can't help myself. Duly inspired by his Tennessee roots and growing family, his son, born in 2015, it imbues his signature R&B grooves with harmonica and a fiddle. Because he's from Tennessee, guys. He's from Tennessee. It's a bold move, but he never drifts too far from home.
The hard stuff, the Stapleton collaborated to say something, a pop rock ballads, with flickers of Nashville, while Timbaland assisted Filthy, and Neptune's produced higher and higher, are natural concentrations of the beat-minute classics, Sexy Back and Suit and Tie. The standout, Morning Light, Neil Soldier, Alicia Keys.
So textured and expressive makes you wonder, is there anything he can't do? Yeah, be faithful. So we know that he cheated on Britney. I don't know if you're gonna refute the fact why. Anyway, he did a doctorate. He's in Trolls again. I want to talk about Jessica Biel. Jessica Biel and him. I don't know much about Jessica Biel. I know she's an actress. I know she has a movie or that show Candy. And I know Justin Timberlake was in it once or twice. I always see stuff about him and her about to break up or separating. I looked up, like, how did they get engaged? Like, did they get engaged? And she said, oh, yeah, it was really nice. We were skiing, and then, you know, we were about to go. And then he was like, wait. And he got on his knees. And you might think that's cute. I don't. I just feel like there's always something going on with him. I think he was filming another show that I haven't heard of or a movie that I haven't heard of. And there was pictures of him hanging out with his very young co-star.
Oh, yes.
Justin Timberlake has never been with a black girl, at least not publicly. But he seems like he would in his songs, right? But no, he wasn't with Janet. He was with Britney Spears, whoever he else was he was with, and then he was with Jessica Biel. The girl who he is having an affair with, or the girl that the pictures, are taken of with him, is a black girl. I know. I know. And this is right after he de-blacks. He de-blacks completely. He is he is whiteified. Fully white once again. He is Tennessee. He's man of the woods. He has kids. He's married. I think also the reason he looks weird is because he's puffy, and that's because he's an alcoholic. And I only say that because, like, a DWI. Maybe he's not an alcoholic, but it's like, oh my God, you have, like, why don't you have a driver? You wanted to get caught or something. This is gonna ruin the world tour. You wanted to get caught. But he's like, no, I didn't cheat. Anyway, it was a lapse of judgment, and I apologize. If you didn't do anything, why are you apologizing? What was the lapse of judgment? You cheated. It's okay. So yeah, I just feel like that whole relationship's really weird. Jessica just gives me very like no nonsense vibes. I feel like they just feel like an odd couple to me. Not even odd, they just feel like a regular couple, and I feel like Justin, he's just an oddball. He's an oddball of a pop artist. I think he's like an outlier in the pop industry, and it hasn't affected him in the way like it would affect a female or anybody else in the pop industry. His outlierness is like, it's just like he can hang out with anyone, but no one really likes him. I don't know. I'm making things up. We're near the end, and Justin Timberlake just released an album. I didn't even hear of it. I feel like it's that thing that's going on where all these white artists that were like, I'm a rapper, I'm an R&B singer, I'm a real musician, I hang out with black people all the time, I know how to twerk. I can rap. And then they're all turned into country. I haven't listened to everything I thought it was. He has that like that little I'm gonna call it a boot nanny. I think that's what it's called. That little thing you put on your strings when you're a cowboy on the back. I think that's what it is.
So operating success. All happened in the 6 years between where the weather was. A pandemic. Multiple films. He collaborated with Jungkook, Coco Jones, and Jack Harlow. He was in Trolls again. He says that Timberlake is back to creating for himself. I think there are moments that are incredibly honest. He tells Apple Music saying, well, I also think he does a lot of acting fun on this album. It's a tribute to Timberlake's family fantasy roots. The opening track Memphis. It's a reflection on his hometown. The pressures of doing it proud. He visits his boy band days. He gets Calvin Harris produced and Timberland and Doja. They're trying to peak pop R&B. He also gets some Afrobeats. Okay. He came with the album title. I was playing people around me being like, oh. They're like, oh, this sounds like everything we know you for. It's like, oh, it sounds like everything I thought I wanted from you.
Everything we know you for is like, oh, it sounds like everything I thought I wanted from you. So apparently the album's really good. Maybe I'll take a listen. But I feel like when you write love songs, when artists have songs talking about someone they love, talking about someone they want to sleep with, unless you're people like Brent Faiyaz, maybe. I've at least I feel like Justin Timberlake is like very old school. I feel like you kind of know who it is, but I just feel like he's never written a song by his wife. That's just what it feels like to me. Like none of those songs are about Jessica Biel. I just feel like she definitely could have gotten with like someone so much hotter, like an actor. I think she was with an actor. Let's look at Jessica Biel dating history. Gerard Butler, Scottish. He's Scottish. I love the Scots. Gerard Butler. Um, Derek Jeter. I feel like she should have stayed with Derek Jeter. She was with Chris Evans. She should have stayed with Derek Jeter. Yeah, basically. That's the end of the. I had nothing else to add. That's the end of the video. Those are just all my thoughts about Justin Timberlake. There's a lot of bad things going on in the world, so yeah, at least we can all agree that there's that one guy we're kind of like we're looking at a little odd. But he has some great songs. He has a lot of good songs. Chill guy, I'm sure. And yeah. So I should probably go and do my schoolwork because I have finals. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.